And welcome back to the channel where we are building a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. So we're working on our event manager, right? What up, Squinch? We're trying to get the ability to change into specific events, like an opening cinematic or something. So when we hit Y here, we're loading a different scene. We have custom update logic with this hello, at least for now. And then we've got a player, and the player is not responding to movements. So, what up, Salto? How's it going, dude? We're gonna see if we can try to start triggering an opening cinematic here. So, like, we're gonna try to insert an NPC, have them walk around, add a special particle emitter. What up, K-Tron? How's it going, homie? Hey, Hugh. Hey, Hugh to you too, man. So we're going to see if we can get a little bit closer to our opening cinematic, because that is one thing we need for the demo. And then, yeah, I got you, K-Tron. And then another thing we need to do, you know, like the plan right now is try to tackle the hardest things first, so that it's easier and easier by the time we're going to publish the demo. So I think this kind of scripting for the event manager is this next big hurdle. And then probably dungeon design and or state management for the save files, right? So like we need to make sure that when a player is playing that we only load this cinematic, this opening cinematic, if they haven't had a save file already. So we need a way to kind of keep track of which events have played already, and then which specific events get triggered upon certain events. Like if you've got the green tunic yeah, I don't know. We have to figure that out, right? And then we'll probably need to build some special sprites for the library, because I'm thinking that the tutorial part of the game is going to be in the library. So the opening cinematic starts with our mage saving us. The blue mage guy is going to save us, and then he kind of like takes our knocked out body, right? We're going to spawn in a volcano area with lava flowing, and Tashio's knocked out. He's going to use some magic to kind of make some magic spell around us that kind of picks us up and carries us out and rescues us. And then we wake up in a castle or something, in the mage's castle, and he gives us a rundown about like how we were knocked out. There was a big event that triggered the eruption of the volcano, and that I'm really weak right now and I can't do magic anymore, so I'm gonna have to take it slow. And then he's gonna say like you know, head to the library when you're ready to start relearning your magic. And then that kind of gives us an excuse to give a little tutorial, because Tashio does not know how to do magic at the very beginning of the game. And that's also why we start out with one spell cast. So when we have our spell equipped like this blue spell's equipped, then we'll be able to cast only one spell around us. And as you get proficiency in the game, you'll get more spells around you. Or, you know, this fire spell is just one of them. There's also going to be an ice spell and maybe a lightning spell. I'm still figuring all that out, but they're going to have different stuff. This is the one that kind of comes around you. Ice spell will probably be like a blast forwards, or, you know, orthogonal blast. We'll only have the fire spell for the demo, but I think it would be nice to maybe allow the player to get up to 2 spellcast elements for the demo, in case they're stuck in the dungeon fighting the bats, which we need to add bats to this new dungeon we added here. So we'll add bat holes and bats to fly out of. We'll have to make sure that we're doing like a respawn thing. You know, if there's no alive bats on screen, go ahead and send one in, but only send one in if there's no active bats. And then we'll have to design the end of the dungeon where it comes out and it allows us to use our new green tunic to push items, pushable items out of the way. Because if there's crates, once we get the green tunic, we can then push them out of the way. So, you know, there is a lot left still, for sure, but we have all the building blocks, other than, you know, we have to manually build out these events. I think I'm just calling them events. Stuff like scripted events, right? So like the opening cinematic or the tutorial part where you can't walk your character around, but you can advance through dialogue and animations will happen scripted. So that is going to be on the docket. I think, you know, I don't think we're going to be doing specific new lava tiles today, but I think we will probably just try to get a mage inserted. We might draw a basic scene to get us started and make sure we can update our NPC and do some scripted stuff like spawn a particle system, get some animation going, and then get some triggering done to kind of advance the cinematic to what we need it to be. And then we'll work on the specific art that we'll need for that, because we don't really have a volcano ash sprite set just yet, or a lava flowing sprite set. So that'll be needing to be added here very, very soon. Okay, but yeah, we got a lot of good stuff. So we just got to keep chugging along. And yeah, I think I want to start out. You know, it's almost like I want to start. You know, I've been calling this our other world, and it's just all the sprites that aren't part of the master overworld. So I guess I could call it underworld, but I'm kind of thinking we start, instead of our cinematic taking us to the overworld. It depends, because part of the story, the game will probably end where it begins, up there in the mountains, in all like the volcano will be like the heart of all the corruption. So we'll probably end up there again. But for now, I think I want to start placing cinematic scenes over in this far corner to kind of like give us some special room here for other dungeons. Because we do some special warp logic that kind of like fakes the game. You know, we walk in the dungeon over here, we pop up over here, we can walk through, and then when we pop out, we come back up over here. So we kind of keep this for the overworld, this for the other world, and then starting in this bottom corner, we can have some special scripted scenes that don't exist in the overworld, but we need for cinematics and stuff. So I think we're going to start building out stuff over here. So let's pretend that this is our first scene for the opening cinematic. Now we don't have volcano art just yet, but we'll just draw a scene so we know that this is the placeholder for the volcano and it's not the snow stuff. And then in the very soon couple days, we'll add some more special sprites for the scripted scenes. Yo, what's up, Lost Boy? You love that the idea of using Love2d, one of the first things you touched in game development almost 10 years ago. That's awesome. Yeah, it's really the only thing I have experience with doing game development. You know, I did the Harvard game development course, and they start you out in Love2d and Lua, and I only got like 4 weeks into that before I wanted to make my own game. So I am not very far in that course, but I really like it. It gets me where I'm going. Okay, so if we save this global map, this will be, since this is 10 by 10, we should have to go the 10th row, 20th column. So 1020 should be this grass scene that we just exported in our global map. So That is in our opening cinematic. Yeah, we'll be 10 and 20 here instead of this old location. And we should be able to place our character down there once we load this. So let's test it. Nice. So we are not putting our player there. And is that because we have a 7-4? This is when we return, but it is not where we first deliver. So we have our player here. Yeah, it's almost like we need to... Hey, Lost Boy, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Matter of preference and how much you want out of it. Yep. Yeah, and it's, you know, I'm starting out simple 2D stuff, so Love2d is definitely... I don't need anything more than this, you know, so I'm still a beginner in game dev, so I'm starting small, and then as I need more complexity, we can always add that, but this is definitely a good start for me. Okay, so I guess I'm not sure why we're not loading our player. You know, we set our players X and Y, we render our current map here, and then we render our scene in our opening cinematic, and we're seeing the right scene, we're just not seeing our player. So when we render our player, that's part of the scene view, I believe. Yeah. Should be part of our scene view, so our player should be part of the scene. So what are we missing here? We have a current map. Yeah. Yeah, and this only happens if we hit enter. I'm not sure why we don't see our player here. Let's see. The only thing I could think of is that we drew on the top level tile layer when we exported this. And we did. Yeah, we accidentally did that. So, shoot, man. Okay, so, yeah, we're just gonna move this to the layer beneath it. We just want it on the ground tile level. Okay. Okay, now we should see our player. Okay, so we load. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay, so let's see if we can get a NPC on screen here. Let's see if we can get the mage loading in there with some sort of update logic. So how we're doing this is we have this table called map declarations, and this is where we declare what gets instantiated in each of our maps. So we have this, it's like super manual, you know, like we have to say we're going to insert into the entities table an entity with us with all this junk. Let's find where we're inserting the mage already. We're doing it right here. So we'd want to, this is a good like template for what the mage needs, right? It needs a walk speed, an animation table, width, height, X and Y, a direction AI, corrupted, which mages can't be corrupted, so it's not a big deal, but I think our entity system was yelling at us when we didn't have that. So we need to do the same thing where we go into the map 1020 and NPC table and insert the NPC in there, and we'll give it, you know, we'll give it a direction just to see it work. But this is the other thing we have to do. We have to go into that NPC object itself and give it the different state machines. And then we'll have to change the state machine and then also potentially update the option for the walk. But then that should give us all the stuff we're looking for. So I'm just going to yank all of this stuff. And we're going to just go to our bottom, and you know, we'd probably end up putting all of these into a specific file, like a NPC declaration file, so that they're all kind of group together, but for right now, I'm just going to try to insert them here. So like, I'm going to say that this is our event manager. I think I call it scripted events. Okay, so the scene we want is 10, 20. In the NPC table, we're inserting an entity, and it's got the mage animations, the mage walk speed, width and height. We have a whatever in X and Y position. And then we're going to go into the 7.2 here, and we're going to put 7.2. We want to replace this with 10. Replace this with 10. Is that not right? 2 substitute. We need the brackets. Shoot. Yo, thanks, Sasquatch. Yeah, I did update it fairly recently. Thanks, man. Yeah. It's up on the GitHub. Okay, so this will be replaced with 10. And then we need 20. So we can say, trying to get better at the Vim substitutions here so that, you know, can be a bit more efficient. Okay, 1020 NPC walk. Okay, so let's see if our NPC is in. Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's on the oh, there's our NPC. There's our mage. We're not updating our mage. It might be because we're paused in this state. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. Oh, we're not updating any entities. Yeah, so Sonic Pi is the software that we're running right now. So it's running here live. And then the repo here is just Sonic Pi repo. And I've got this new software I'm working on. It's called Title Cycles, which is really cool for more performant. Not performant as in effective code, but performant as in like a musical performance. I'm working on that. I'm not as confident as sharing that just yet. You know, I've done a couple streams trying it, but it's not quite good enough to become the new default for the stream. But I'm working on transitioning that. Now we do need to update our NPC. In the table, we need to update the NPC in our cinematic, opening cinematic here. So we need to kind of cycle through our NPCs in the scene. So it should be sceneviews.npc table. No, it's actually at the global map. So if we go to the map, we could hard code this in if we wanted to. Yeah, it depends if we want to change this or not. It's whatever. We go into the map.npc table, and then we need to cycle. We'll cycle through those, and that will be what we need to update. So we'll say value. Let's update the NPC that's in there, and we're already rendering. We're already rendering the NPCs, right? I mean, we see them. So the NPCs are in the scene view, and we're already updating that. So we're rendering that. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's coming together. Yeah, I'm starting to feel the crunch. I mean, I wanted the demo to be done end of February, and I'm pretty sure that is not happening by now. But you know. Yeah, I'm starting to feel the crunch. Okay, look at that. We've got our NPC mage updating. And this is special because our player, our player's not updating, but we have specific update logic for this, so we can trigger something like an opening cinematic. So let's keep playing with this, and let's try to get something working. Yeah, I was hoping to get, I said end of February, knowing that that was too soon, but I was hoping, it would really get me going. But yeah, I can only go as fast as I can go for the most part. So, yeah, I don't know what the timeline is, but I'm just hoping we can get it done soon. And yeah, it'll probably be a month from now, but I'm gonna still say we're shooting for end of February. We're not gonna make it, but if we still shoot for it, we'll maybe get close. So yeah, if we think about what we really need, we still need a shop where you can buy stuff. We have an inventory system, but we need to add some advancing through our inventory system, or limitations in our inventory, because right now everything's unlocked. You can put on whatever spell, you could put on whatever tunic, which isn't right. And then we also need put on a Sonic soundtrack. Need to put on for Sonic Pi, are you saying? Can create some green zone. What is it called? Yo, did you see the new Sonic? Oh, gotcha. Yeah. It'll speed me up. Yo, I like the new Sonic movie. I've liked all the Sonic movies, actually. That's a good one, Sasquatch. Yeah. It's tough, because it's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm starting to feel a lot of resistance coming in to work on the game, and it's just like, it's probably going to get worse. It's just one of those things, right? As it gets more complicated, you're like, oh shit, it's tough. Yeah, because I feel like the past 3 episodes have not been very productive. It's just tough. Okay, so what we're trying to do, we took out the hello. So we want to put our player in a very specific spot over on the right side, middle-ish. So we can say that we get a tile size times 6, which will be the 5th tile over, and then this will be a times, I don't know, 5 to be 4 tiles down. But we need a specific, see, like, this is kind of tough, where we need a specific logic for the NPC, something outside of its currently defined walking path. Because right now we have like 2 walking paths defined for our entities. One's a square, and one's a, one walks in a square, like really like a circle, and then the other one walks in just left and right. So we kind of need to define special logic for the NPCs, so that we can say he's going to walk on screen, he's going to stop, he's going to cast some spell, and then Tashio's going to float off, and then he's going to walk off, and then trigger the next scene in the cinematic. So we'll put, let's look where we define the walk state for the NPC here. And it's at the very bottom. We're saying current option is square. So like we have 2 different options. One's a line, and line is just he'll walk to the right and then back to the left, I'm pretty sure. He's not updating anymore. It's not line. So what is it called? We have shopkeep. What do we call him? Villager 1. Villager 1. He's getting. It's not line. It is horizontal. All right. Horizontal is what we give him. Okay. And then we want to put his X not so over here. He needs to be off screen, so we can say that his X is actually a negative tile size, so he starts off the screen. And that's probably a good Y position for him. So let's see if he walks on screen here, and Tashio should be on the middle right. Yeah, so Tashio will be dead. Oh, see, he peeked on there and he came out. So we need to give specific logic. So if what happens if we don't give an NPC state machine an option? So let's take a look at the walk option for our NPCs, and we'll see if we can just omit the type and then manually define the action we want to give him. So it should be in, I don't even know where it is, entity walk state. Okay, so we should have a horizontal defined here. Nope. Let's see. Self option. Okay, so the NPC walk state, we do have a self option. Okay, so when we define this option, do we also allow no option? We don't. Okay, so the thing to keep in mind with this, I think, is if we don't give an option, I don't think anything bad will happen. I think it'll just it just won't initialize walking or whatever we have here. So we're gonna have to do something similar for the cinematic here, where we have steps. You know, step 1 is walk all to the right. Step 2 is stop. Yeah, I love the Primogen. You know, I only use Neovim because of his setup and Harpoon. That's how I navigate my files and stuff. So yeah, he has more upbeat techno groove than I do, but I'll get there one day. I'll get there. Yeah, title cycles is cool for more stuff like that, but not quite confident in coding that just yet. For the stream, you know, I would open and play with it, but not to be our only stream music. Not confident for that yet. Okay, so let's try not giving any option here. So when we do our map declarations, if we don't give an option, and we also put our mage where he's just on screen so we can see, I'm hoping the option shouldn't crash. He should just be there and not moving. Okay, nice. So let's try to give him specific logic. So if we're here, you know, we have this self-step.1. How do we even trigger this? Like, what is, you know, we're saying step or horizontal option. If our self stop 1, we have a walk timer, we update our X speed, we change our animation. So this is the sort of stuff that we need to move our character, but it needs to be custom for whatever animation we're going for. So we have this like wait and walk timer and then steps. So it can be, you know, would it be part of, I don't know how we define it, because we update the NPC here, but yeah, man, it's been really cool to see the progress, definitely. Yeah, because I even every couple months or so I'll go and kind of like watch parts of my first stream, and it has come quite a far way in just a couple years. Okay, so it's what I don't like about this is we might have to, I think what I want to do is like pull out the actual mage NPC. So one thing that is kind of tough is like we have this in our map declarations here. We have this mage index that I snag right here so that we can index into the mage. This makes sense, you know, if we don't know how many NPCs are ultimately going to be in the NPC table. If we do happen to know that in this map 1020 scene, there's only going to be one NPC, we can kind of just hard code in the one. I don't know if that's okay. I mean, I guess we get to choose, right? It's like, I don't know. But then here, you know, all of these fields should probably be defined in terms of the mage, like not just step here, but like mage step 1 sort of deal. part of our thing here. So we'll say that there is a mage step 1, and step 1 starts being true, and that'll be the first thing. We'll have all of these fields as mage, you know, timer. Yeah, I think I want to kind of do like up here in the local, we can say mage is gonna get the NPC of the current map here. So we should be able to say map at 1020 dot NPC, and then we have to index into the first one, the only NPC in our mage. That's going to be our local mage here, so that we can do stuff like mage.x gets updated by its walk speed, that sort of thing. So mage walk timer, we need step 2, step 3, step 4. Yeah, so and then there's a wait timer, a walk speed. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like all we need is this walk timer also. Oh no, we have the walk timer. Is there a wait timer? Yeah, wait timer. Okay, so this is just kind of like a blueprint for the things we need to change. And it's basically just the walk speed, or the X position, or, you know, X and Y position, animation, and then we just trigger, you know, in the steps of like how, you know, at which point are we moving which direction, and then how long do we wait before we do something else. So we'll do this. We'll say if the mage step 1 is true, then let's just try to get our mage's X to be updated by its own speed times delta time here. So it should be called, yeah, it should be just called walk speed. Okay, so if step 1 is true, which we initialize it to be, oh, we actually do all of these. We should just move to the right. Global index and nil value. We don't have access to this. Okay, do we really not? When do we declare this opening cinematic? We declare it here before our map. Kind of curious if we just do this a little later. Yo, what up, Merksu? Yo, we're working on scripted scene events. So like, I'm trying to like trigger an opening cinematic, for example, which we've got our mage moving, which is what we did definitely try to do. But yeah, we're working on scripting events so that the, you know, inputs don't actually move the player, but scripted events play out, and then you can navigate through the dialog box to read exposition, and then trigger back to the play state to give the player control again. So that's what we're working on. We're trying to get our state, or our state machine for these things working, and we do need to change a couple more things, like we need to change the animation of our mage to be the walk concatenated with its own direction, so that it's facing you know, the right way. But I don't think we actually, yeah, we don't actually say direction. Direction is for is a nice way to kind of automate their movement. So if we just say a gecko gets a left direction, then it'll automatically walk to the left, that sort of deal. So we can either, I kind of like having more control over that for the cinematics, so we're kind of manually updating it by the walk speed instead of direction, and that's why I'm kind of manually explicitly saying that the animation will be walk right for the mage here. So we should be walking now. Nice. Okay, so if we're starting to get the movement when we initialize them, we need to go start him off screen, so he walks onto screen, and then we need to trigger the different steps depending on either his X position or a time. I'm kind of leaning towards triggering based on his X position. So we can say, if the mage is past the 4th tile, this will actually be the 5th, this will be the 4th. If the mage is, at the 4th tile from the left, then we're gonna no longer become the step 1 and we're gonna advance to step 2. And then we can add step 2 logic. We really did that. So step 2 will just be waiting because he's got to cast a spell over Tashio. Where did we just do? So we will start to increment our wait timer. And then we can say something like after 3 seconds or 2 seconds, trigger the next step. So like, let's just start with 2 seconds and we can adjust it as needed. So if, we're gonna wait, and essentially we only do something if our wait timer's past 2. So we're basically not gonna update our animation, which means we actually need to change our animation here once we trigger this. We need to also change our animation to be the idle right. And then we wait, and then once the time's up, our step 2 is over, and we'll move on to step 3. Okay, if we're step 3, let's walk back left and we'll change. Merksu, I put I think what's on there is 7 p.m. every night Mountain Time. And I used to be really religious about that, but I have not been able to balance that recently, so I'm kind of just on some time. Lately it's been about 8:30 to 10 I start Mountain Time. It just depends on the day, so I would like to get back on a schedule, but it's really tough with life and stuff to be so regimented like that. Time has been out of focus for sure. Yeah, it's been, dude, it's tough. It's tough. Especially, with like cooking dinner or like figuring out groceries or errands and stuff. It's tough to get a good time. So I don't know. I'm hoping I can move back to probably right when I'm done with work. It's just so hard to get motivated right after work. But yeah, ideally I'd like to do it right at 6 Mountain Time and then go for about 2 hours and then call it a day. But then I'm cooking and eating dinner late, and then yeah, I don't know. Okay, we do want to, you know, we're going to move our mage back to the left here. So we're going to say that our X position gets subtracted by our walk speed, scaled by our delta time. And then we also need to change the animation, and it'll be to the walk left animation. So let's just see if we're getting our steps advancing correctly. I think we probably are, but let's see. So he should walk in, stop, wait 2 seconds, walk left. So he walks in, he stops 2 seconds, and then he walks left. That's perfect. Okay, so what's next, right? We need to add some more detail to the third step here, or the second step. So while he's waiting, he needs to actually cast a spell here and rescue Tashio essentially from the lava. So I think we're gonna, you know, we don't have an animation for spell casting for the mage, which we probably might need it to really sell this. Or maybe we just add a particle system to his wand, his staff, and maybe that will get the point across. So let's try to see what that would look like. Let's give us like 8 seconds on this pause, and then we'll start to put in a type of particle system that is like our corruption on our geckos. So if we go to the entity, I mean, it's called what? P system? Nope. Oh, P system's lowercase. Okay, it's not our spellcast, it's actually our corruption particle system, which is part of our entity, I want to say. We do have the chasm one, but it's too purple. I mean, I guess the corruption one is too. It's just that one's set radially. We want the linear acceleration, I'm pretty sure. Okay, we do have this spellcast particle systems. That's not it. We must have called it something else for the entities. Yeah. We don't have a system in here, particle system. Yeah, we do. Okay, this is what I'm looking for. So if we have a particle system here, we can put this part of our opening cinematic. And, you know, if it turns out where we want this particle system to be reused, you know, if there's another time, which we probably will have it, we can always kind of factor it out into its own particle system declaration. But for right now, I don't even know if this is what we're going to move with, so we're just going to test it. And what we need here is the new particle system instantiation like this, and we'll put it in our opening cinematic state machine. This is all in the update. And then we need to render, and we're rendering it like P system. Right here. Okay. Okay, so here's where we'll put it, right here. And we'll probably just make sure we set our color to white so that we don't accidentally have a weird color. Looks like we're already setting it white for the heart rows, but, and actually I like to keep these outside the inventory, the HUD. So yeah, we'll do it right here. why do we set color if... Okay. Yeah, particle system will render on top of the scene. And right now, it's just a particle system. We have a 400 particle system. That's probably too much. We're gonna move it to our mage. So we're gonna just put it at our mage's position here. We set a particle lifetime, a border ellipse, emission rate, and then for the colors, starting and ending values, we want it to be blue, I think. So we'll lessen up on the red. Give it a strong blue. Full opacity. It'll fade to no opacity with completely full blue and just completely blue on the channel. No red or green. And then, yeah, we basically the only thing we have set for this is it lives for 4 seconds. Its position is following the mage. It's a border ellipse emission area, emission rate of 40, a tangential acceleration to kind of swirl it, and then a color, and then we update its position, and then we render it. So let's see. (113) argument 1. Okay, we don't have access to this adjacent offset, and that's because in our this adjacent offset is like while we're scrolling the scene from one to another. It's that adjacent offset, so we actually don't need that because we're not going to be rendering this while we're scrolling. So we should just have to render this at 0, 0. I would think, because we kind of set the location of the particle system to be the player's X. I don't know exactly how that works. Okay, look. Yeah, it follows him. Cool. So it does follow him. And yeah, you know, he needs to, you know, it needs to not come out until he's in step 2. And then it needs to come out, and it needs to look better than that. It needs to be, what, a stronger tangential acceleration, and it needs to be a little to the right, so it looks like it's coming out of his staff. So we'll shift it, you know, we'll double the acceleration here. We'll keep the, actually, yeah, I want to make this smaller emission area, and then I want to give it almost to the end of the staff and not so far down. And then we only want to do this if we're in step 2. So if we're in step 2, let's go ahead and update all of our particle system. So now it should only come out when he's stopped walking, you know, and maybe we give him a little magic dust behind him because that kind of looked cool. But also right there, yeah, that looks more like magic coming out right away, right? Then he's going to walk away and the magic kind of lingers until it disappears. Oh, it stops updating. So yeah, we need to reset. We'll need to reset it. That does look pretty good though. It looks, you know, it looks like he's definitely casting a spell, and that gets us away. You know, we don't have to give a custom animation, because especially because our 16 by 16 limit here, there's no room for the staff to go forward in the animation because of our sprite. We're already maxed on that. So the only thing we could do is kind of move it up, which maybe we'll do, but I think the particle system probably gets it across. So I kind of want to just say, let's update our particle system if we're in step 3, and let's set our timer to get to step 2 to be shorter, right? So we can trigger our step 2 for a less amount of time. So instead of 8 seconds, let's just do 4. And then I do want it to be, I think I want more kind of purpley colors in there to begin with. So we'll just boost the red and kind of see if that helps with the color gradient. So he walks in, he casts a spell. It is purple, and it goes to blue. That's probably a bit too much purple. Okay, then we need the particles to follow him on the way out. So let's take this down a little less purple, and then we'll do this exact thing where in step 2 we're moving it based on the mage's X. Nope. Yeah, we're moving it based on the mage's X and Y, and we'll just do that also on step 3 so it follows him on the way out, but doesn't make any new ones. So it'll kind of just, it'll continue and it should fade out as he walks away, and we'll have to add some animation to Tashio's dead body too when we're, well, not, you know, knocked out body. So you cast the spell, he walks away, and it follows him out. That looks great. That's exactly what I want it to look like. Let's watch it again. The emission area looks perfect. It follows them on the way out. I think the colors are good. I don't think it's too many particles. I think it looks good. So let's, you know, we need to give our Tashio a dead body sprite, and not a dead body sprite, a knocked out sprite, so that he can be passed out, right? And we actually have one, and it is him once he gets knocked out by the bats. So let's try to, if we go to our entity defs here, we can see which one we're actually talking about. It should be upon the death. Yeah, it should be this 9th frame on the player death animation. So if we manually change our Tashio's, let's see, this is Tashio, yeah, player.animations at index death, and then we'll all we have to do is set our current frame to 9, maybe 8, because the value, yeah, with one index it'd be 8. Okay, so let's try to do that. So let's say we go to opening cinematic, we set our player, and we're gonna change the animation. Let's see, we're gonna change the animation to the death animation, but then we're gonna manually set, how would we do this? We say current animation, or current frame. Let's see, it's in our animation class. I want to say it's current frame. Let's see, where is it? Times played current frame, self-taught current frame, yeah. So we do want to say, if we're not looping and our times played, okay, so if we say times played is 1, current frame is 8, it should not try to cycle through. So we'll say that that's in our animation class, so it depends on our current animation. So I think we have to do animations index death. I think it would be that. No, it would be actually current animation. Yeah, it would be current animation. So we say current animation dot times played, right? Gets 1. Nope. Does that crash? No. Okay. So we say the current animation times played is 1, but then also, you know, I didn't see it change to the animation. Well, let me see, actually. If we take out times played as 1, it should animate to the death. It does not, because we're not updating our player. So, yeah, we need to say, and actually, you know, we don't actually need to update our player. We don't need to update him because he's not going to be changing. He's just going to be knocked out the whole time. So let's just try to change the frame. So instead of that, let's just say current frame. And the current frame is going to be the 8th. And it should be him sitting with his head down. No. Okay. So what do we do? All get current frame. Animation is going to set our current frame. So we need to render our player at our current frame. Are we doing that? When we go to render Tashio, we render him in the scene view. So yeah, we should be rendering him. Yeah, we should be rendering him the current frame. So do we need to update him? Yeah, we just say player render. Okay. And that's in our player class. And that defers to the entity. Jesus. Okay. Then the entity. Wow. Yeah, this is not what I thought. The entity defers to the state machine. So, whatever state he's in, I guess would handle how we're rendering him. And I think... Jeez, man. Okay. Okay, so let's say we're in the... We have a player state, and let's say we're in... Well, I guess we'd have to change to death state. Yeah, see, look, our walk state is rendering at the current frame of our animation. So I would think, you know, since we changed the current frame, we should be only rendering this text or this this player based on its current frame, and we're changing the frame manually. So when we run this change animation, do we run that? Yeah, we just run it right on the player itself. Okay, but the animation... Yeah, the animation is death, yeah. So it doesn't seem to want to render at the current frame. It's because what do we not oh yeah. We change the animation, and then we go to the current animation. Once we've changed it, set its current frame to 8. Then when we get here, we render the scene view, which renders... Yo, thanks for hanging, Sasquatch. Peace out. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging. Yeah, we go to do our scene view render, which renders our player, which renders our entity, which renders our state. And our state would technically be whatever we left when we changed to this opening cinematic. But either way, both the walk and idle state both refer to the current frame. We must be messing up this current frame assignment. Dot animation dot current frame. Dot animations dot current frame. So the dot current frame is part of the animations table at the index of whatever the animation is, which in this case would be death, and we want to go to the current frame of 8, and it should put his head down like he's passed out. Shoot, man. Still no. If we go and do this, you know, I'm curious, like, if we're just in the play state, if we can kind of do this. Shoot, okay. We're in the play state. Let's just, before we go to the render, let's just say, okay, well, our global player is now an animation. When we go to a death frame, and let's just see if that changes. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. It's not that. It's actually one frame past that. But exactly. That's what I'm looking for. Looking for him knocked out. Okay, so I think it is frame 9. That was really funny. Yes, he should be knocked out like that. Actually, you know, I'm kind of liking the other one, all knocked out, like on his ass. This one, he looks sad. The other one, he looks like dead. He looks. Yeah, let's see what 7 looks like. He looks squished. He looks like he got smushed. Yeah. Honestly, I think frame 7 might be it. He looks so jacked up on frame 7. He looks awake though, which I don't think I like. I like. Yeah, this one, he just looks awake, right? Because this is like the last frame when he's swirling in the chasm death animation. So I think for right now, you like the squish one, Lost Boy? Yeah, he looks squished. Yeah, he does look squished, but it's like he just looks flat. He looks one-dimensional on this one. He just looks like he's literally on the floor and you can walk on him. Okay, so let's see. You know, let's try to change this by the time we change to our opening cinematic. Because in the init it's not working. So I'm kind of thinking by the time we trigger our opening cinematic, which for us is when we press Y. I'm not even seeing it here. Okay, we press Y, so like, what if we just change it here? As we trigger it, we change his animation, set his current frame, and then let's see if he gets squished while the mage comes over to rescue him. No, he doesn't. So if we were to print this up, are we resetting any animation here? Well, no. Okay, so part of me just wants to print up what the current animations is on the player, because this is clearly wrong. Let's try to just explicitly do this in the update and just, you know, if it doesn't work here, it would have to work here, right? If we're updating this, it should fix it. Yeah, okay, so he's squished. Mage is gonna walk over, use his magic, he's gonna lift him up, and then he's gonna carry him out with magic. I don't think I could do the squished one. The squished one is too, like, he's supposed to be, yeah, he's supposed to be like knocked out. He looks fucked up. He looks like he's tripping. I don't like this. I don't like changing this. I don't like changing this in the update function. I'd rather do it in the init and have it work. So I'm a little confused why it's not working. Oh my gosh. Okay. So let's you know, we have it in the init. We have it in the init and it doesn't work, which is weird to me. Yeah, that's really strange to me. I kind of wonder if we do it outside the init and just like up here. Can we do it there? That doesn't work either. I don't get why it's not updating. Do we have to update our player? Oh. Do we have to update him? Well, nope. If we update him, he gets his movement back. And doesn't change his animation. So what's going on? Let's print up what state machine he's in. Let's print up what state machine and what animation he's got, because this is wrong. So let's say that this will be the players dot state machine current, and let's just see. He should be in, I want to say it would be the walk or whatever we do when we change it, and I'm not even seeing it. Yo, what the heck? We print it, state machine current. I think we have to convert it to a string. Okay, we have a state name for this purpose. Or is it just name? I know we have this. I know we have this. It's a dot. Oh my gosh. I want to say it's state name. Camel case. That's not it either. Oh, we have a global we're setting it to. Player state. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so it's in an idle state. Okay, so we need to override its state to go to the death, and then, because I think it's, yeah, let's try to manually change the state machine of our player to death so it renders the right animation table. Even though we manually change it here, I think when, I don't know why it would be broken. I don't know. Let's do change state death. Change state, I think it's player death. There we go. All right, we knocked out now. He just looks like he's falling. He looks like he's falling. So we're gonna go to frame 9. Knock out his butt. Okay, cool. So he's there. We're gonna walk up. Mage is gonna cast a spell. Then we need Tashio to get lifted up and then get pulled out alongside Mage here. So we do actually, yeah. This is we have to add custom logic for the Tashio steps, right? So like, let's say step 1 is actually going to be false because we're going to wait to do step 1 until we trigger it. When we trigger it, step 1 will be lift Tashio straight up. Step 2 will be walk out with Mage and kind of maybe do a little wiggle, maybe add an aura of a particle system or something. I don't know yet. But it should look like if particles are coming out of his butt, it'll look like Mage's magic is directly influencing him. So maybe we'll do that. So these are step 2. Now when Mage is in step 2, I think we're going to lift up Tashio. So we're going to say Tashio step 1 is now true. And then we can trigger if Tashio step 1, then we want to basically just slowly lift us up. And we're going to do that by going to our player, and we're going to say our Y is going to get updated upwards velocity. So we're going to subtract, let's say delta time. It'll be really slow. Actually, yeah, delta time's too slow. But maybe we can do delta time times 30 to raise us up. But I don't want to go above a certain position, right? So like we don't want to go... if our Tashio is initialized here at tile size of 5, then we want to tile size of 5 limit our math dot. We want to limit how small this number can get. So we want to say math dot max, and one value we give it is gonna be this. Did I not copy it? Tile size 5, right? So tile size 5 is just what it is. So we're going to say this is G player. This is tile size times 5. But we want it to be maybe like 8 pixels up. And then we limit it by the decrementing value, getting smaller by delta time over time, but clamp us at 8 pixels higher than we started. Let's do 16 just so we can see it better. But if we're Tashio step 1, we're just going to raise our player's Y position, so it should only raise once mage comes in and starts casting spell on us. Nice. So yeah, that's way too fast, right? So like we want him to kind of slowly rise up. This will be 30 times slower than that. But he casts a spell, he lifts us up. That's actually pretty good. And then he's going to walk out with us. So that's too slow, but also this should be like limited to 8. And maybe a little faster, right? So maybe times 2 on the delta time here, and we'll see if he stops rising by the time mage walks away, because that's what we're kind of looking for. So he's going to come over there, lift us up, and then walk away with us. And then ideally we kind of like cruise on over with them with some particles coming out of our butt. And then I do want a little delay here. So Tashio's going to have a wait timer. It's just like a half second I want him to wait a bit, because like he shouldn't start rising the instant magic comes out of mage's staff. So before we do Tashio step 1, we're just going to increment our Tashio wait timer. And then if our Tashio's wait timer is greater than, let's just say 0.5. I want to say 0.5. Then we're going to go ahead and step 1, which should start rising us. Then in step 3, when we move, our Tashio needs to start moving in the same manner. So we'll say we'll shift our Tashio's X by our mage's walk speed, scaled by delta time, and then he should walk off with mage. So let's see how that looks. So we load it, he walks in, casts a spell, lifts us up, and then he's gonna walk off with us as he turns. Yeah. And then I want Tashio to kind of wave up and down so that he's getting pulled, and it looks like he's being pulled magically, right? So because right now it looks like it's just too mechanical. So what we can do, we can set this how do we do this with we do this with the bats? Let me take a look at how we do it with the bats. I'm still new to like all the trig stuff with like the sine and cosine for waving stuff. But we do have this zigzag frequency and amplitude. So this is kind of how we do this. You know, we need to set, yeah, exactly, sine waves. Yeah, we got to do this. If we take a look at how we're doing it with the bats here, where were we? Zigzag is what we called it. Okay. Yeah, so we have, oh god. Okay. So we have an offset that we do a math sine function, passing in our time, scaling by our amplitude. And then when we update our position, we just need to add this little offset. So zigzag time just needs to be a growing value, and we pass that into sine, and then we multiply it by an amplitude. So let's try to add that in. We'll go, yeah, back here, and we'll say that we have this as a I just call it the zigzag. That's just what I do at this point. We need to set this offset here in the update function. So we'll get rid of these. In the update function, we only need this if we're in Tashio step 2. Actually, yeah, Tashio step 2. Well, actually, we're not even triggering Tashio step 2. So we'll do it in mage step 3, actually. What we need to do is put, oh man, I undid this right here. We need to do this in mage step 3, actually, yeah. Step 3, we calculate this offset, and actually, yeah, we'll do this on the, offset is a bad word for it. It's too vague. But it's not a big deal because it's like this is local to the state, so we're almost done with the logic for this first part, so we might be okay with it. Okay, so if we're in mage step 3, we're gonna set our offset to be equal to this zigzag time, so we just need to start incrementing our zigzag time. So that'll get growing, and do we initialize it to be 0? Oh, we need to do that. Self dot zigzag time gets 0. So where are we even doing zigzag frequency? Mage step 3. We increment the time and the amplitude. Yeah, we aren't doing the frequency. Let's see. We're looking for our bat walk state here. Yeah. Where do we do our amplitude? No, our zigzag time, zigzag frequency. Okay, so we say zigzag time is scaled by our frequency, and then our offset is scaled by time times amplitude. So we can set our time to be scaled by the frequency, so we can kind of get control over that. So let's do this same thing. So we'll do, we have a zigzag time, we have a frequency and an amplitude. So here we'll say, and actually I think we only need this in mage step 3. We're going to say our zigzag time is scaled by our frequency, and then our offset is a result of our time times our amplitude. And then now that we have this offset, we can update our player. You know, instead of saying that our x is scaled by this, we just need to add whatever. Actually, this we only want the Y amplitude. The X will stay the same, but our Y amplitude will have this offset, which should be scaling from, it should be cycling from the sine function. So let's see. Ah! 67. We left in entity. Any dot entity here. Entity get replaced with nothing. Yo, thanks for hanging, K-Tron. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you later, man. Have a good night. Okay, we're going. We lift up and we global offset. Global offset. Yeah, not offset, self-offset. Come on, man. Alright, we walk in. He casts a spell. He lifts us up. He walks away. Look at the zigzag. Look at the zigzag. That's too much. It's too much. Yo, hey, sounds good, Squinch. Have a safe drive. Catch you later. Thanks for hanging. Yeah, we'll do, zigzag amplitude too much. Let's say that this is actually not a random value, right? We don't want this. Let's just say 0.25, and let's just say maybe 3. We want it to be kind of slow. So 3 seconds from peak to trough, I guess. Let's see. That's not bad. I do think amplitude is maybe a bit much. Frequency could also be a little slower. Frequency every 2 seconds, so maybe 5 is slower. I think frequency is cycles per second. So he lifts up, he walks away, and we go, yep, perfect. That's exactly what I want. He to kind of wiggle. A little more frequency or amplitude, I think. It looked like his frequency was a bit faster, actually. 5 times a second versus... Yeah, I think we want a slower frequency. So he lifts us up. He walks away with us. That's looking pretty good. It's too much. It's too fast. Let's try 2 on the frequency and see. This is cool. This is cool. That's too much amplitude, but the frequency is much better. This is starting to feel like a little video game, man. Getting little things in here. Because it's like, this, you have no control over this. That's perfect. I think that's... he looked, it looked like he waited too long at the upwards. Like he kind of... The sine function kind of paused too much at the upwards. Let's see. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. I kind of want him to rotate. Well, hey, Leaf, what's up? Hey, it's going okay. Yeah, we're doing some scripted events in the game. Welcome in. Yeah, we're building this top-down Game Boy-like style game. So we're working on like the scripted events here. So like right now the mage is going to come rescue us at the beginning of the game. So I think I just want like a little aura around the player here to kind of just make it a little more apparent that the mage is picking us up. So I kind of want just like some hover pixels at the bottom of us to kind of indicate that the mage's magic is what's lifting us up here, because it doesn't necessarily quite perfectly read as him picking us up. I mean, it does, but I think we just need to add some more. Yo, hey, Leaf, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Yeah, I think I want to have this. I think I want Tashio to hit another. Hey, wow, hey, thank you for that. We just hit our follower goal of 240. Thank you. Yeah, I think I stopped setting follower goals, but I think Twitch kind of just adds them for me automatically, which is cool. Particle system 2. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to add this particle system for Tashio's butt, essentially. So when we're in, basically when we hit mage step 3, I think I want to hit Tashio step 2. And then if we're in Tashio, actually we want to actually do it here in step 1, because we want the particle system to come out as he's being lifted by the mage. So we'll have to figure out some new dimensions for the particle system. Like there's an emission area that's like a line, I think. Border line. Let's look up this emission area real quick in the Love documentation. And it looks like it has a couple of things. Set emission area distribution, area spread distribution. We have a border ellipse, border rectangle, distribution in a rectangle with particles spawning at the edges. Yeah, we kind of want to do like a skinny rectangle at the bottom of us and emit outwards or upwards. So let's try this border rectangle. Is it border rectangle like that? Let's just see what x of maybe 10, y of 1 is. We want like a line and no tangential acceleration. I don't know what that'll look like, but let's see. It should be right at Tashio. Well, actually, we're not even moving it. So let's move it to, when we move it, we move it to Tashio's butt, essentially. So the bottom of our player. So it'll be a Y. Actually, this should be X. X should be its own X. And then a Y of the bottom of us. So we'll do the Y plus our height. And it should move up with them, and it should be this rectangle emitter at the bottom of him. Okay. Yeah, not quite. Yeah, it needs to be wider, right? So if this, I was kind of thinking we might have got these switched. So if this is 16 wide, so height and width, 1 height, but 16 wide, it should be as wide as our feet. Yeah, not quite. Probably because the emission area, it looks to be set. Oh, we're doing this based on the particle system 1. So we'll make sure we're updating the right particle system. But then also when we render, we need to render both. So when we render the particle system here, we need to render the second one also. Okay, let's see. Okay, nice. That's not right, but that's good. We do need this emission, not emission area. What the acceleration? It's not tangential. It's linear acceleration. So we'll do this. We'll set the linear acceleration. We'll swap this. This will be 8 and 1, and then a linear acceleration of, I don't know, let's just say 4. I don't know what that looks like. Number expected got no value. Dude, I gave you a value. We'll do 4 and 4. I think it needs both X and Y. So I think we just need a negative y value so they float up. But that is looking okay because it's kind of right at our butt. I want it to be skinnier than that, and I think I want a negative. Let's just try negative 10 and see if it floats up. They should kind of start at our feet and float up above us. Not quite. Yeah, I'm not seeing the acceleration. I think there's another time, or we do a radial acceleration, not linear. So I don't think I've used linear before. Oh, it's only on his staff. Actually, that looks pretty cool on his staff. Why is that working on his staff? P system. Oh, my son of a... That's the only one. Okay. Actually, I do... Hold on. I want to see it on his staff again, actually. That kind of looked cool. Yeah, I want to see that on his staff again. That looks pretty wild. Huh. Okay, I don't think we'll keep that. It's kind of cool to see the different variations we could do on the staff magic spells, but let's just see. This now they should float upwards. Okay, yeah. It's too much. It's too much. I want it to be more of a cyan, and I think I want this to be a little wider. Let's see if a 0 works on here, so it's all in a straight line. And then let's see let's say 2 to 3 life cycle. And we want to scoot this over by maybe 4 pixels. So it looks more at his feet instead of the outward side of him. So let's see. Yep. It should be behind him probably. Yeah, it should probably be behind him. It's just that we don't have... Actually, yeah, we do have a way... Shit. Our player is locked in the scene view here. So in our scene view, there is the map, the tiles, the ground level tiles, the above ground level, top level. And underneath the top level is our player. So if we wanted this particle system to render under our player but above our ground level tiles, we have to pop out just the player render, which we don't have that ability. I can try to put it before the that won't work. If we push it out, yeah, I don't think that'll work at all. I don't think we'll see the second particle system. Yeah. Okay. If we put it after the scene view, it should come out, but it would still be above our player. Yeah. We'd have to move the particle system out into the scene view so we can control the render order, which does not sound very fun. Or trying to think of another way we can do this. I can't think of any. Because this is really tough because we kind of need, since this is part of our state machine, we can't really just put custom particle system update logic and render logic for a specific state in our scene, because then we'd have a huge if condition branch for all of these particular particle system updates, and that's just not what we want. I don't know if there's another way because of the way we did this. Yeah, I think long term the move might be let's take our player out of this. Oh man, we can't. If we take our player out of the scene view, then we need to take our top level tiles out of our scene view also, so that we always have control. Here's our scene, then here's our player, then here's our top level scene on top. And then at that point we can choose, let's render our particle system above our player and our scene, but under a top level tile layer. We have not structured our game like that so far, so we don't have this ability just yet. So we can do, you know, we can do other things like emit a negative direction on the X and a positive direction on the X to kind of make a V so that it doesn't directly come over his face. You know, we can do little workarounds like that. I don't know if we would want to make such a big change like that, but it would give us more ability to change the render order. So it might be worth it. Especially for particle systems. Because right now, the particle system, unless it's in the scene... actually, I'm trying to think. Actually, maybe... Since the scene view defers the rendering to the player defers it to the entity defers it to the state, then our player walk state, we could have a specific player state that has a particle behind him. It would still be the same problem though, where we would have a specific... We'd have to define it outside of this cinematic state machine and put it and just change the state of our player to have this opening cinematic particle system and update that. So I don't like that idea either, actually. So let's just find a setting that can work. You know, maybe it means half as many pixels in our particle system. Let's take it down to 100, and then let's also give like a range of particles. Like, can we do, instead of -10, maybe -5, emission rate 40? I think that's okay. Actually, let's take it down. Let's see. I do want it actually to be more cyan, so we'll add more green to the starting position. So red, green, and blue, and we'll do maybe 200 here. And then we end on maybe 200 again. So it should be cyan fading to a bit more blue when he lifts this up here. Yeah, that's actually kind of looking cool. The emission area is still too to the left, so let's set it to be maybe +10. We're looking for like the very center of our butt there. Okay, a little off. I do like that. That's looking better. Nice. I like that. That's looking pretty sweet. That's it. That's it. Okay, so I think that's it. I like that. Let's give our mage one more tile of spawning to walk in at. So when we spawn our mage here, we do... Yeah, it's actually in our declarations. For the bottom here, we're going to say our mage is actually a negative tile size times 2. Nope. Times 2. Off the screen by a whole sprite, and then it waits a little longer for you to walk in, cast his spell. Kind of thinking his spell should be the same color as the orb he's holding, which is purple, or like a light purple. So let's actually do that for his staff, because I think that'll be more cohesive for the story. So let's do that. we have this, and let's say it's right here. I don't think we render the purple. I think we just drew it. So it looks like it's high on the blue, higher on the red. Let's see. Yeah, more of like a purple pink. Nice. That's actually pretty spot on. Okay, so let's add a little bit more red here by the time we're off. And then also we'll add like a little bit more red to the cyan so it looks like it's a little cohesive there. Just add 100 to the red channels here and see how that looks. Because I want the spells to match the elements that they're holding, so it makes a little more sense, right? Yeah, that's not so purple. We'll ease up on the blue. So it'll be maybe 180 on the blue. Doesn't look purple at all, still looks cyan. So yeah, we need to do for particle system 2. Yeah, we just need a lot less green. Okay, it should be pink now. I do want it. It's actually like pinkish blue. Okay, it should be more pink than purple for sure. So, a little more red. Yeah, we should really just use a color picker for this. I don't want them to be the same color. Like, I want them to be pretty close, but also more blue on the resulting spell, so on our butt. Yeah, it looks too purple. Looks too purple. Yeah, I think the move going forward is going to be just to pull a color picker instead of just this guessing game. I like this bluish purple. Yeah, I also think it should be a bit brighter. So more green. Yeah, I think the move is I just pull out a color picker instead of just this guessing game. That's looking pretty good. Yeah, because I want it to be bluish purple. Purple pink because his spellcast is his element he's holding is pink. But it should fade to a purple over time. And then the blue should fade to like a cyan over time. So if if his, ours needs to fade more to cyan, which is going to be green and blue. So we just need higher on the green at the end. And then his needs to go to a darker purple, which would be just a stronger blue. Well, it is stronger blue. And it would be darker. So maybe we go 0 on the green and then actually just lower on the alpha, or lower on both of these channels to just be a darker overall by the time it fades. So let's see how that looks. It should be, it should be pink to purple and pinkish to cyan. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Yeah, I like that. Let's see the amount of particles, if that's looking okay. Do we need... Honestly, I think it's pretty good. Yeah, I think that's money. I like that. Okay, I think we'll call it here. Let's check out our get diff. Oh god, okay. We added an NPC to a special state and gave it a state machine. Then we added in our opening cinematic, we gave a bunch of different logic for our character NPC and our player to get lifted up and carried out. We'd have to change the state back to play state once this is done, but actually, we have another place to take us after that. So he's gonna carry us off screen. Then we're gonna wake up in his castle, and he's gonna tell us what happened. And then he's gonna tell us, meet me at the library when you're ready to learn some magic again. And then that's the first time the player can start to play. So, get status. We changed our global map, our tiled declarations, dependencies, opening cinematic. That looks right. But what did we change in our dependencies actually? Oh, we just moved our opening cinematic so we had access to the player, the global player. Okay. So we'll get add and commit with a message saying scripted opening cinematic with mage scene 1, because there's going to be a two scene part for this opening cinematic. All right, cool. We get pushed it. So what we'll do is run credits here. Oh, come on. There we go. All right. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to find someone to raid out to here. Let's see. We've got... Yo, hey, Loki. Loki's live. We're going to raid Loki. Yo, thanks for watching, everyone. We're going to raid Loki here. And then call it a night. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll get some more. I'll probably be adding lava sprites and animations, as well as the lava soot sprite levels, so that we can get that looking okay. And then we'll work on the castle, and then we'll tie together the whole opening cinematic, and then actually let the player play once the cinematic's over. Yo, hey, thanks for hanging, Brightside. Nice to see ya. Yeah, hope you have a good night, and I'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, peace out. Stay hydrated, y'all.
I think that there's a player dictionary